G'day guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a review of a horror film that I've already reviewed on the House of Horror, which is a collaboration channel that I review for, but I did that a long time ago, so I wanted to share it on my private channel. So this is a horror film from Argentina, Spanish language English subs, released in the year 2010, directed by Adrian Garcia Bogliano, and this film is called Sudor Frio. This is the Spanish title because I'm going to be reviewing it under this title because this is the Argentinian release, but if you can find it in any English-speaking countries, you'll be looking for it under Cold Sweat. So basically, the story to Sudor Frio takes place in Buenos Aires, and this guy's girlfriend has gone missing. So he gets the assistance of a female companion, and they do a little bit of investigating into her whereabouts. So they investigate into a webcam chat that the girl had before she went missing with this blonde guy. So they trace the webcam chat to this secluded area of the streets of Buenos Aires, and the female companion goes in to ask around, but she doesn't come back out. So eventually the boyfriend loses patience and he goes in after her. And this is where he comes face to face with the terrifying truth behind the girlfriend's disappearance, and it has something to do with the 1970s of Argentina and this terrifying cold sweat agent that is being deployed. So that's all I'm going to give you on the synopsis. If you want to know what's in store for these people, please find it out for yourself, because so hopefully I've done a good enough job at gaining enough curiosity. Now, my thoughts on Sudor Frio. I wanted to love this film. Now, for sentimental value, I love Argentina, I love horror. Combine the two together and it really got me excited. So I was prepared to overlook the minor flaws because I was just that excited and that keen to really like the film. Unfortunately, no matter how sentimental the film is, I couldn't overlook the fact that this is an incredibly sloppy film. Now, it does come with its positives. The positives are, I thought cinematography is very good. There's a very creepy feeling. There's a lot of suspense in the build-up. And I thought, as far as Hitchcock sort of films are concerned, the start of the film does work pretty well. I like the fact that it's a clash of generations too. You've got the older generation of Argentina under the dictatorship up against the younger generation of free Argentina. And there's a contrasting difference between these two, the villains and the good guys. And I really liked that. I thought it was very interesting. There were flashbacks to these two villains who were good friends, but they were from a different time. And it feels like they're frustrated at what the new Argentina's become. Therefore, they're taking out the frustrations on this younger generation. So, although it is a straight-out horror film, it is a very psychological impact of how some people just don't grow out of the environment that they were raised in, and that's exactly what you get in this movie. And I thought that was the best part of the film because I wasn't expecting it. The gore, when it does happen, was actually pretty good, although I would say that there's not enough gore. And I thought the ending had some really memorable scenes. There were some pretty good costumes, sort of design, makeup, and I thought it was a fitting way to end a genuine horror. The ending was a genuine horror experience, and I thought it was very creepy. So the movie does come with its positives, but unfortunately it's heavily clouded by the negatives. Now, to start off with, I will say that it's incredibly inconsistent. Now, the characters do different things for different times. So you've got one character with this sweating agent, where if it hits the ground, they blow up. So the demise of one character happens, and then the next character, the same thing happens, but they don't die. And so you feel like, what the hell's going on? Has the director forgotten what this sweating agent was all about? That if it hits the ground, it explodes. But for different people, different things happen, and it's never really explained. So you're scratching your head wondering, what the hell's going on? Why is this so inconsistent? So you're not enjoying the film. You're just asking questions that shouldn't have been asked. And, it's for the wrong reasons. And it does take your enjoyment out of it considerably. And I thought that was a massive, massive flaw that prevents the film from being anything memorable. So the inconsistencies go through. There's very inconsistent performances from the actors. Some were decent, some were really bad. Towards the end, it gets unintentionally hilarious. I thought the villains, while they had that interesting background, I thought they were just not very intimidating. They weren't very memorable as far as traditional horror icons are concerned. I thought they were just too old, and there was one scene in particular that I'm not going to give away, but I found it absolutely hilarious, and I wasn't sure whether or not it should have been hilarious, whether it wanted to be a horror comedy, but I had the sneaking suspicion that it didn't want to be, but it just came across as that. So it takes all of what the film has going for it in a good way, and it flushes it down the toilet because it just feels like the movie lacks direction. It lacks, it doesn't remember. Well, it feels like it doesn't remember what's going on because, as I said, there's a lot of inconsistency in this cold sweat sort of weapon that these villains have. And for that, I really didn't like it. And the gore, while I said it was good, at the end there is a chance for a lot more gore, but it just doesn't show it, doesn't deliver it. It sets a good standard as far as gore is concerned towards the start of the film, but that's pretty much it. And it just goes downhill, and it meanders along to what is a very forgettable experience. So no matter how much I wanted to love love the film. I just couldn't. I thought it was poor, and it's definitely not coming recommended. So overall, I'm only going to give Sudor Frio a 1 star. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.